Hello and good morning, my crafty creatures. Ah, I am a little bit more rested. Mostly because I know I don't have to go to work today, so it's a nice mental relaxation practice. Is I don't have to prepare myself for work today, which is awesome. Ah, officially. Well, I've done a little bit of stitching beforehand. I was finishing up some annoying areas um, that I was working on yesterday. So before I started stitching today, we had 9,832 stitches until she is all done. And I do have this weekend off, and I'm hoping to devote some time to get some progress made because when I get busy, I take I take my more portable crafts and they get work done on them. Like I've been organizing my yarn. I've been doing other little tasks that don't require time to stop, sit, and focus. So when I get busy, I don't get a whole lot of Buffalo Woman time. And with her being so close to being finished, you would think I'd be all over it. But that's the unfortunate not reality. Oh, but we are continuing our quest on color 159, which has 700 some odd stitches left to go. And I do think that with my working on it this weekend, I will at least hit 96% before the end of the month. Which I can't believe it already is at that point. Oh, oh. Oh, see, I also have, remember, I have the conflicting brain with the regiment and the getting done and getting what I said I needed to get done and that I have all kinds of conflicts going on in my brain. So, and I get like that, like with Rainbow and with Bliss Fairy. When I got down to under 5,000, I just balls to the wall, and that's the approximate equivalent with Buffalo Woman. But at the same time, Rainbow Infinity and Bliss Fairy were significantly smaller, and I could take them downstairs. Where I prefer to hang out with Husband Creature and the dogs. Um, but currently, with Buffalo Woman's size, it is just not. It's not conducive to a healthy stitching environment to have two bumbling German shepherds around. Because I've gotten to the point that if anything happens to this and it is done by something living, the consequences, fuck around and find out, doesn't even start. Doesn't even begin. But for my commission, I got all the greenery done. All the flower petals and all the flower bottoms are all done. I have, I want to say 2.75 flowers because I have the third row of a flower that needs to be done, and then two whole flowers. And then I get to assemble everything, which is all kinds of fun. So I'm coming into a conclusion. And then I have a cross stitch commission that I need to put my nose to the grindstone for. So I'm staying pretty busy. Like I have stuff I can do. Oh, but hello and good morning, Jules. I also feel a lot better. with having all of my medications in place and taken at the proper times. Yesterday I took a nap. I don't know as if the nap was needed because I had to allocate so much energy to just getting up and doing stuff, or what it was. Could have been I was just tired. I don't want to admit that I am just your everyday person and that I can wear down, which I do. I can and I do frequently say I don't have the energy for that. But the amount of I didn't have the energy for that yesterday was ridiculous. Even at work, I just didn't have the energy. And I got good sleep last night, and even though Pixie woke me up at 6 in the morning, it enabled me to take my med, yell at the dog, and then go back to sleep till 8. I stayed in bed till 8, and I took care of them. So I even popped in on a voice chat, which is that's a rarity for me. I I'm part robot. I have robot bits. Mm-hmm. I did a little bit of cleaning this morning. Not too much. I finally got. I have like 5 or 6 little skeins of yarn left to cake. Like they're the sports weight for. I have plans. I have plans for some of the stuff that I have, but I have like, cute little skeins that I have left to cake, but they don't really take up too much room, and I have a spot for them. But I got all my yarn into totes, nice and organized. I haven't inventoried any of it yet, so I am going to have to take them out, but now that I have locations for them, it'll be a little easier. And but today I'm cleaning the corner that you guys can't see over there. I got a really cool med cart with lots of drawers. I get to pick a lock. Or try to pick a lock. Push comes to shove, I have a drill bit. But that's what I'm doing today. I'm super duper pumped about it because it's really cool. It will enable me to take some of my little things that I didn't want to have where they are and put them where I want them. Progress. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Let's see. I do think it is visible, but we are. Are we up still? We're still up. We're up here, so I do actually need to move the camera a little bit. Okay, so that right there. Worried. I was like, did I loop it properly? Because sometimes I do not loop my start loop properly and I just pull the thread through. But I did it right. I got it done. Ugh. For me, it's just a little. Today it was a little hot out, so I opted for a tank top, and I'm not 100% sure I don't I'm always very unsure about showing off any amount of skin, to be completely honest, but I stay nice and cool, and it's working out, so I can't complain too much, but I just I don't want to blind you guys with the paleness of my skin. We had tonight. Tonight is supposed to be a really big thunderstorm. I am so glad that it is sunny outside today. I am going to be doing. Woo! Hello, dragon. I'm going to be doing some outside work that desperately needs to get done today, and then I'm going to do inside work. So inside work while it's rainy and crappy and yucky outside, but outside work while I can. One last. Okay. I'm mentally mathing. Like, there's not a whole lot of jumping, so I'm gonna be working in this. It's 4 block area, so it's 40 stitches across, and it's all pretty solid. So I'm gonna. One over. Hmm. one over skip one. Skip two. And I'm really looking forward to what I'm making for dinner tonight. So, um, Iorita has a prepackaged thing called potatoes O'Brien. Now, um, it is cubed potatoes, hash browns essentially, onions and peppers, and I take them up. I cook them up, and I add in spam and eggs and cheese, and it's delicious. And that's what we're having for dinner tonight. So I'm super pumped about that. And yes, I realize I could make it from scratch, but cubing potatoes does not appeal to me in the least bit. Though there are neat little machines that'll cut them into the little the fry strips so that cubing is easy. It's just nah. Oh, it's very very good. Oh yeah, yeah. And I can absolutely cook. If anyone is doubting my ability to cook, I can cook. Just some of the more complicated things I don't want to do, and I can just because I can doesn't mean I do. It's kind of the same saying. Just because I can't doesn't mean, or just because I won't doesn't mean I can't. Well, freeze it. Make a lot and then freeze them, and then just pretend that you're making them. I'm guilty of considering that too. Like meal prepping out. It just again haven't gotten the spoons, haven't gotten the energy and the time in the same moment. Just having having a few slow cooker meals just ready in the freezer in like Ziploc baggies. I haven't gotten that far in my life yet. And that's okay. Yeah, and it's just that's why you buy it in bulk and freeze it. I enjoy. We have freezers galore here at the Creature House. Um, that was a stretch. That was a stretch of stitches. That was honestly the longest stretch in the block. But well, it would be a bit of a hike for you to come. I I honestly I got very lucky with my chest freezers. One of back in the before times where I used to rent out rooms, I had a renter whose mom was downsizing and needed to get rid of a chest freezer, and I bought it for $25. $25 off their room rent. So I got that's how I got my first one, and then oh my god, the second one. The second one was one of the catalysts as to why I don't have a really open and talking or any sort of real relationship with my mother anymore. The freezer, the ever reminding reason why my mother is kind of crazy. Um, I got that one from my best friend who just wanted it out of her garage. Um, that's all, and because my mom and her weren't talking, my mom it was a whole thing. My mom, in reality, my mom wanted the freezer and was mad that she didn't have the room because her basement isn't finished, and that I was able to take the freezer. And it's all very it doesn't make sense when I start saying it out loud, so it makes my brain hurt. Um, but she wanted the freezer and wanted to make it as hard as possible for me to get the freezer because I could have it. So she made it difficult, and I showed her fuck around and find out because my in-laws are pretty awesome, and they're always haranguing us. Why don't you ask us for help? So we asked them for help, and I realize husband creature, I am very much shortening this story up. Husband creature, and this is one of the first. This is one of the first encounters, like the first conflicts that husband creature got to experience my mother in. I could regale with. I think I could probably take up an entire stream story timing that freezer. And unfortunately, it's not. It's such out of context theater that it would have to. People, if you came in the middle of it, you'd be like, "What is going on here?" Because there's so many tendrils that went into this one story path of it's not fair that you got the freezer that I wanted. Even though my mother is more than financially able to purchase a brand new chest freezer. I my mother is very hard to hide. Um, that is the politest way I can say that. Um, I try to warn people. I try to give them a warning, but until you've experienced it, you don't understand. And I can easily say that about Jules, your mom, your mom. I can't even fathom. I kind of had an idea, but until I've tasted that flavor of crazy, I don't fully understand. I get it, but there's a different level of understanding. And for those of you still playing the home game, it's kind of like Husband Creature's mom. She's a little, she's a little, she's a little crazy. She has a different flavor of crazy that she's mellowing it down. Husband Creature frequently says that our mothers are going in opposite directions. Where my mom started off very laid back and cool, and then amped up to batshit crazy. His mom started off batshit crazy, and as she ages, is getting down to a reasonable level of cool. But it's relationships are hard. That might be what's mine refuses. Mine 100% refuses to be medicated because it's all propaganda. That's also why she refuses to see a therapist, because if her family, and I quote this, if her family cannot handle her issues, then why should she talk to a stranger about it? I talk to a third party all the time just to make sure that I'm thinking properly. Like that I'm not off base. That's why I ask, "Hey, this could just be me, but insert what I think I'm being off base about." Because that's how I have to regulate myself. Ooh, that was a sound spike. Um, but that's how I have to regulate myself. And it's okay to get feedback. It's actually really handy to get feedback, and that's why I tell people, give me honest feedback, because if I'm upsetting you, if I'm if I'm doing something wrong and you do not correct me, I'm gonna do it again. And it's been a very hard pill to be able to accept that level of criticism, because sometimes it doesn't come easy. And I do get upset upon hearing it. And I've been working on curbing and controlling that. It's a process. I can sit here and talk and make it sound, oh, all you gotta do is walk in and go, hey, what's wrong with me? Don't open that floodgate. Do not suggest opening that floodgate. It is a process. You have to take it grain by grain and baby steps. Okay, let's see. Yes, I mean I know I am, but is this one of those outliers where I'm really just off base? And that's why I give support to my support system is I could potentially have been in a completely different place if I didn't have the support and love, and including my mother, including my family. Is our relationship great? No. No, it's not. It needs a lot of work. But I do know that she loves me. Her expression of her love is questionable, but I know the woman cares for me. Um, and and that's a complicated thing to talk about because people are like, well, if you don't talk to her, you must not love her, and that is not true. I don't talk to her because I love her. um, and you can have people in your life where you absolutely adore and love them, but you don't talk to them for that reason. And I don't think that's said out loud enough. Is you can love someone, but not have them in your life or an active part of your life, and that's okay. We're not designed to get along with everybody. I try real hard, but it's not in my. It's not always in my best interests. Yeah, and and it's not always a two-way street. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about. Is unfortunately our silly little biological thingamadoos aren't always two-way streets. Um, where I can sit here and very easily say that I know my mother loves me. I can very easily say that. There are other people who can sit there and just as easily say, I know that my mother does not love me. And that's it's not fine, but it happens. Um and for those people, I love you. And it's complicated. Like I did enjoy the Facebook status with it's complicated. Unfortunately, you can't do that with your parents. Uh, I I try to be gentle when broaching that topic with people who don't know because much like most she puts on well she used to put on a good front. I'm not quite sure how good her front is anymore, but she used to put on a good front. And I like to tell people there are three sides to every story, or more depending on how many people are involved in the story. Um, there's each individual person's point of view, and then there is the actual truth. And you have to hear all the views in order to see where the truth might be. And sometimes you're never going to have that truth. Sometimes you're never going to have that satisfaction. Because a person can lie about what they did or they saw or they felt. But that is a skill that I always work on upon entering things that cause me annoyance or grief or any of the bad stresses. Is I do try to sit and listen to all sides. Try being the operative word. I'm not always great at it. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm Ellen DeGeneres, where like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, she's totally friendly and a rock star," and I'm like, "No, no. Sometimes I'm a flaming twat waffle. I can be cranky, and sometimes it does involve fire. Though I don't think me cranky with fire is a smart idea. Me cranky with anything that could be weaponized is probably not a smart idea. Oops, too much of a jump. Eh. There we go. Oh my goodness. So tomorrow's 3 hour stream. Super pumped. So last night, while I was working, the house that's getting renovated as a transitional from homeless people was on the news, and I was in between having to pop meds. I was gearing up. I was gearing up for my sprint, and I heard them talking, and I heard my street name. I'm like, oh no, what is going on now? And first thing is they're like, oh, on this street uh at they're starting the transitional home, and so where I live there's the street, and it's just a street, but the street that runs behind me is the street name. It's I can't e- it's the street name. It's And then at the very end it's Avenue, and that's where the house is located. The garage is located on my road, but the the house itself, where they're doing all the work, is on the avenue aspect. And they were trying to make awareness so they could fundraise some more. They're like, yeah, we're hoping the downstairs unit, which is a smaller 3 bedroom unit, will be available for uh starting to rent at the end of the summer. And I'm like, okay, well, that gives me time. But they're also like, well, we need help. We need volunteers, especially ones in the trade. And we could really use someone who's an arborist to come in and trim the trees, because the trees, that's why one of the reasons I have a metal roof. Trees will ruin your shingles. And my backyard has a tree that leans over part of my house, which is one of the reasons the shingles were going. The other reason is that they were installed in 1998, and they were well over their 20 years. Uh, so, but I opted for a metal roof because it won't corrode the roofing. Uh, but they want an arborist, and I'm there like, where did your money go? And I recognize everything is very expensive right now. Um, and I love volunteering. Don't get me wrong, I love to volunteer. But I've had too many bad interactions with this particular organization that I don't want to help them. I'm not going to hinder them, but I'm not going to help them. Husband creature might want to hinder them. Filling in the gaps. Then I have to find another area. Mhm. Skip 2, then skip 2 and 4. Skip 2 and. Skip 1 and 4. Got my fingers caught in the back of the string. I need to find my twisty hooks today so I can start making my crown and mask wall. I have decided where I'm gonna put my new little organizational cart, but it's gonna be some cleaning that I gotta do, per usual. I think the most fun part is going to be getting it up the stairs, but that won't happen until I've actually gotten it unlocked. getting ready to travel. I'm gonna do these 3 low stitches down here. Then I'm gonna move over this way a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, now we're moving over here and we're gonna working on moving down the line. I don't even know how far this particular cluster goes, but we'll follow it. And then one more. 3, skip 1, 2. One, 2. Oh my goodness. 3. Skip 2 and 1. There we go. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Funny enough, this little stretch that I'm doing right now goes quite a bit down, and it covers a good portion of what's left of the color, so it's kind of handy. I picked a good spot to start. Okay, and then trying to imprint the pattern in my brain so I don't look at it and then forget and then have to look at it again, at least for a little bit. Just a couple of lines, or just even a couple of stitches. Sometimes it's that bad. Or I could just stare off into space at it and totally not absorb one bit. But I did. I absorbed some bit. Almost done 200 stitches in an hour. Right, well, a little more than an hour. I think I had like 50 stitches done when I hopped on. I didn't get a whole lot of work done because I was cleaning and organizing and tidying up and doing all the weird little things that I do before stream. Okay. Yeah. Lunchtime. I had I had a deliciously healthy breakfast of a s'more um, dessert cake. It was pretty yummy, actually. Oh, husband creature, that Tupperware thing, I'm gonna hand wash later, so you don't have to worry about that. I raided my attic this morning because I needed a cover for one of my totes, um, and I had the right cover size in my stash, but it doesn't match. It's not the mate to the tote, so eh. Um, it works. It covers, and even though it doesn't snap down like most tote covers do, um, it does the job. But I grabbed another little storage bin that I have up there because I am slowly clearing out the shit that's in the attic that's mine, that's been up there for the better part of a decade now, um, in order to start insulating that particular area, because A, it's above this room, and it needs insulation. It has some really shitty insulation right now, but it needs better insulation because eventually I at least want to move the stream factor up there. uh, so that I can have like a nice crisp, clean, just as busy, but a nice crisp and clean streaming area so that I can have on the side that I'm looking out over the stairwell all the works in progress. It's the she shed man cave dream in my head that may or may not ever come to fruition, but I can still dream it, and I still need to clean up the shit that's up there. Still need to clean the mess up. I don't get out of that. I found some gluten-free, pre-made frozen pancake bites, and I am super excited about trying those. Pixie has German Shepherd Rusty Jaw today. All I'm hearing is squeaking and groaning because I'm not giving her what she wants. Can't go wrong with pancakes. Though husband creature would argue that waffles are better. Up. It has been updated. He likes them both. I said something different, so it's an update from what I said. I knew he liked both pancakes and waffles. But I thought he liked waffles more. Let's be fair, pancakes are sometimes just easier. You don't have to get out the machine. I mean, yeah, the first flip thing, I am not great at the first flip of pancakes. I'm not. Oh, luckily I didn't hit anything. Traveling down the page. Started at close to the top of the page, and now we're like midway down. Okay, so on this. You lurking in the background?
What?
You lurking in the background? Ah. Oh, thank you. he occasionally he makes rare appearances. But just like Abra, as soon as you catch him, he poofs, he teleports. Jules, did you see that features now different colors? He hit level 15, and I didn't know it. I didn't know that we had unlocked the colors. So when he has an Arctic has Arctic fox. This is just blue, but he has an Arctic fox color that I hope to eventually get to. This is going to be the end of this piece of string. And then I have some mathing out to do because we have reached the end of this particular block of color. I have to pick another block of color or jump around. I don't know. Because I mean there are straggler bits, but they're just it's weird. Do you have to add eggs? If you want more fluffy, add one more egg than the recipe calls for, because the fluffiness of the pancakes comes from the eggs. So you basically got all the dry ingredients mixed up. That's why. What is it? What is it that you? What? I think it's meringue that has the egg whites that you when you whip them, um, that you get that fluff and froth. That's what egg whites do is the fluff. I'm going through my brain. I'm like, I know I learned that from another thing. Oh, also, if you like food TV shows, The Bear premieres tonight. I know Husband Creature likes it. It premieres tonight. I don't know what time or what channel, but it premieres tonight. See, it all connects. It all connects. That's always nice. I'm trying to decide where I want to travel next because I got done of that streak that I was working on. And what's left is it's like 5 stitches in 6 different areas, so yeah, math that one out. So I'm trying to find where I want to go next. I think I found it. It's kind of continuing where I left off. Where I left off at the end of one stream, and then I'm picking it back up again. Okay, so here we are. I'm getting the before I make sure that you guys can see me. I'm getting the stitch secured. Oh, even though I never know any of these people, I love to hear me some good tea. I love it when I stumble upon like TikTok that like, hey, I got some tea for you, and I have no idea who these people are, but I love listening to the gossip. I don't necessarily spread gossip, but boy do I love listening to it. Especially when it's about me. I love listening to gossip about me because I am always wondering what I'm up to. Oh, it happened when I go home. Oh, there's tea and it's funny. When I hang out with my mother-in-law, there's tea. I sometimes I know who she's talking about, but the woman knows everybody. I could probably walk down the street, run into someone and go, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she would know that person. So, but listening to the gossip's fun. Guilty pleasures. Oh, well. I get that. I like to listen to the I don't like I don't get joy from the bad gossip, but it's still fun to listen to. Like did you hear that Gina's little boy uh tripped on a cat and rolled down the hill? Yeah. I don't gain joy from where people are hurt or whatnot, or but if they're like, oh yeah, and Karen, she yelled at someone and it ended up being the chief of police. Yeah, I giggle at that. Yeah, I giggle at stuff like that. It's the sea of blue. It's all the colors I got left now. It's blues, grays, blue grays, some whites, weird shades of purple blue. Eesh. That's rough. Those aren't. That's not the fun. That's not really. That's not really gossip. That's bad news. those are things we need to know about. So we keep our eyes out for those individuals. Mm-hmm. So far, I've made it on for every day that I'm supposed to stream this week. Even though yesterday was just an hour, I still made it on. And I did take a nap. Yeah. Mm. Oh, oh, too close, too close. Mm. Mm. My computer's thinking too hard. Oh, whew, whew. That's a whole lot to unpack there. And it's really it shows that no matter how much you try to help a kid or a friend, that ultimately they're going to do what they want. I'm super glad that the son is choosing to try to take over his parents' business, and it's really unfortunate for the daughters. I don't know why I'm looking up. Oh, no. Nope, it does not. And it's more loud, more quiet parts out loud is as parents, you can do the best that you can, but sometimes shit still happens. And after a certain point, it's not on you anymore. And I get it. It's hard. I've while I don't actually have children, I've had to make choices. I've had to choose me the choices. I counted wrong. So I'm pulling stitches. No, don't you dare. Oh no! Are you using voice to text? Well, not the bird pancake, no! You got auto cucumbered. I didn't go down enough. I did not say duck. There we go. There we go. No. Let's see, yesterday I was typing pissed and it kept turning it to mist. And I'm like, really? Because I wasn't truly like, I wasn't like raw smash angry, but not having the keys for the cart that I picked up was very frustrating because I know that someone took them. They had been sitting in the lock for the longest time, and then they weren't there. So someone took them. And I wasn't the only one who saw them. So I have reliable sources that saw the keys in the lock. And when I went to take it, they weren't there. So, and I asked all the people who would generally take keys. Like the bosses. They're like, oh, hey, none of them have it. So. Well, I mean, I would definitely hit up some pure maple syrup to fix a crash in sugar. It fixes it real fast. That and honey. Honey fixes it too. And they taste so much better. Like honey and maple syrup taste so much better than the shit that they try to sell you that's for diabetics fixing your blood sugar. Tastes like ass. Fruit flavored ass. Honey, maple syrup. You can even get them in the squeezy containers now. I bit someone when I was having a low because I squeezed the gel shit in my mouth. I bit him. No regrets. Ooh. I enjoy pure maple syrup. Uh, like the fake stuff is good, but the pure stuff I specifically like it used in fudge or candies, but I will chug the pure stuff. But sometimes I can't have it because well, it is pure sugar. I do have to be mindful of that. Jeez, I'm almost to the. Ooh, ooh, rum flavor. Ooh, that sounds really good. If you got names, I want links. push comes to shove, I see a cooking project on my horizon. Oh, so just kind of thinking about back about my day yesterday is I'm the computer tech person at work. I've just come to accept that for simple problems, I have no problems helping Nana hit a button to get on the Wi-Fi. That's not a problem. So one of the younger gents, he's 70. The minimum age to get into where I work is 65. So this gentleman's 70. And he's like, can you help me get my computer on the internet? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, because it's literally 2 button clicks. Because you just have to hit the Wi-Fi symbol and click on the Wi-Fi that we use to connect our residents to the internet. So I go in, takes me 5 minutes to click and get him on the internet. And then he's like, well, I have so much more I need help with. I'm like, well, what do you need? And he responds with, I don't know. I'm like, then I can't help you. If you need help with something and you have a specific question, I am your gal to help you out. But if you don't know what you want, I can't help that. And I'm going to go continue doing my job. So I continue on with my evening. I do my med pass and I get over to where he is. And I go in and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my computer. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, and I just kind of look at him and he's like, well, I want to do email. I'm like, well, do you have an email account? He's like, yes. I'm like, you're connected to the Wi-Fi. All you got to do is log into your email and you can do stuff like that. He's like, well, I thought taking the Wi-Fi, getting it on the Wi-Fi would take longer. So I've known this for a little while and I intentionally avoid too much interaction with him. He likes to fixate on women. And I have no interest. So I don't spend any more time than I have to in his room. And it just comes from my working in group homes is I do not want to lead anybody on. I've been crystal clear that I am here to give you your meds and leave. Unless you have another question. And he does it to all the girls, so I'm not singled out, but I'm not going to give him that opportunity. And when he said, oh, I expected the Wi-Fi to take longer for you to connect it, I'm like, really? And internally I'm going, and it's frustrating. It's like, don't try to trap me. You will not like the answer to fuck around and find out. Because I will get you booted out of this place. I didn't tell him that, though. Yes, blueberry honey is very good. That's something funny enough. Here in Maine, we get a lot of. But it was just thinking back on it. It's like, wow, the Wi-Fi doesn't take that long, and I'm not like, had he had legitimate questions, totally would have answered them and helped him out. Not a problem. But he has an Apple, and I'm not really great with Apples. With Macs. So my knowledge is limited on them. So even if he had a question, I might not have been able to answer it. I'm comfortable with them, and I can use them because in college, it's when the iMacs came out, the brightly colored, just the monitor. Yeah. Those were what college computer labs used. when I was in college. Yes, I'm old. Um, and yeah, that I'm not rude, but I'm not putting my neck out to help him out. Because I just I have no interest in it. None. But I stand by. If he tries anything and is inappropriate in any way, my boss will know, and he may have to be relocated because I will have none of that. And neither will my boss. Funny enough. Yes, in the facility I work at, we don't, yeah, we don't really do baths. And because he's 70, and he's 99.99999% independent. So we just have to we have to remind him food and take your meds, which is really the only thing that our residents need. Um, once, like if they have Alzheimer's or dementia, or if their need goes up to they need support 24/7. That is not the facility I work at. Independent assisted living is a very specific, very weird. It's a very weird category. But that's what it is. Is my job is to give you your meds and remind you that dinner's, or whatever meal, I work for dinner obviously, but whatever meal is out is out. That is the extent of my responsibilities. Yep, if we can't lift you, then you're not gonna. If we have to lift you, I should say, we either call lift assist, which is a pain in the butt, or um, yeah, we don't lift. If someone can't get out, someone can't navigate in and out of their own bed, we do not take them in. Or if they're already in house and they can't navigate, we start looking for places they need to go. Because we don't have the staffing for that. While I am trained to do these things, a lot of our staff is not, and that's the unfortunate cold hard truth. Is a lot of our staff are not trained for that level of support, nor did they sign up to be. It's a very niche area of support that I kind of like. I kind of like the gently touching support. Like, I don't actually have to fully support you, but here, have a little bit of support. Like, I'm a cheerleader. And I don't get in trouble for just being a cheerleader. And I think in our entire building we only have, well, in the area of the building, in the wing of the building that I work at. Technically they are two different places, but the area that I am employed in um, has less than 10 guys. Mind you, we can only have 48 people, but where the area I work in has less than 10 guys. Less than 50. Yeah. Yeah, we are trying to remember. We are level 1 support. Um if that, maybe like point 0.5. we are point 0.5. If they have to hit level 1 or 2, they have to go to another facility. Level point 0.5. Zero is no support whatsoever. Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're talking about work. Nope, I'm only doing. Yeah, and yeah, the where I work, it's 100% independent living, and then it's the assisted or independent assisted. Um, and it's funny. We get a lot of our residents come from the independent living aspect. And when they come down to us, almost every person who has come from the independent building has been shipped out to a higher care facility within the first 3 months, because when they're independent, they don't have anybody checking on them, make sure they're taking their meds. They don't even have someone glancing in to make sure that they're eating or anything like that. So we're kind of like that intermediary where they come down and we're like, your nana needs way more than we offer for help. And it's our job to build up the documentation, to be able to be like, hey, this person needs this level of nursing home. So I guess it's a weird place to help. I mean, the place is kind of weird, but it's a weird place to be working. Sometimes for me, the hard part of my job is listening to the old men complain about how people don't want to work today, and how women being able to work and have actually have body autonomy has ruined everything. And keeping my keeping my bitch mouth shut when I hear them talking about shit like that, really, that's the hardest part of my job. Because apparently, me being treated as a person hinders the way that they want the world to be. Yeah, yeah. And they also, oh, kids these days, they don't want to work. And I'm over there, like, I'm looking at them like, you see that you're being served by a 16-year-old, right? As you're saying, kids don't want to work. Uh, so So some of the smaller bits and pieces of my job are actually harder than the actual job itself. Okay, I'm right here. I'm over here, and I want to do the weird scraggly bits that are over here. So there we go. And this will be my last bit, my last few stitches, and I'll tell you where we're at. Oh, I can't express how happy I am about having a day off. Nice. I'm happy. Even though I'm gonna do stuff, like, it's not gonna be a potato day. But it's nice not having to go into work. Okay, there is that. Let's see, how far did we get today? Okay, so, started off at 95% and a quarter, 95.25%. We ended today at 95.39%, so that's a pretty good haul. Did 326 stitches. So we are down to around 9,500 stitches, and the color that we're working on right now has 511. I'm probably gonna work on it a little bit after all my shenanigans today, but I'm gonna head out for a little bit, and I want to thank everybody for the gift of their time. It's non-refundable, so you giving it to me is totally awesome. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Drink water, take meds if you need to. Be kind to yourself, and if you have spoons after being kind to yourself, just don't be a dick to others. You don't have to carry on kindness, but don't willingly be a dick. But I will see everybody. Tomorrow is the long session. I'll be on at 9 to noon. And, whew. But I'll see everybody tomorrow.